everyone, and welcome to my website, sandracrowe.com. My name is Sandra Crowe. And if you're not already familiar with me, I've been speaking and training for over 20 years. I've written a book called Since Strangling Isn't an Option, and I have a brand new book called I Didn't Sign Up for This, 7 Strategies for Dealing with Difficulty in Difficult Times. And later on, I'll give you an opportunity to get a free chapter of the book. I had a number of PBS specials. I've had my own television show called Stress Busters. I've worked for corporations such as Marriott, Sony, the Discovery Channel, federal operations such as the White House, Social Security, and NIH. And I'm going to share with you some of the secrets that I have found in those organizations that have really worked to turn around their people and professional issues that you can also benefit from. You know, I'm not sure if this is happening to you, but I've noticed with a lot of my clients that one of the things that they're experiencing is decreasing budgets, increasing responsibility, stress increasing, frustration increasing, and they're not really sure of the solution to these problems because what they're doing is actually using 20-year-old or 30-year-old ways of operating for really what is 2012 problems. And so one of the things that I found is that by really shifting the way they think and the way they operate, and I'm going to show you how to do that now, that it really changes the way that they operate. Now, the way that I discovered this and uncovered this is that in 2003, I had a major health issue. It was debilitating. I couldn't function. I was in bed. I became homeless. I wandered around the streets. I had brain fog. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't operate. My life became this wandering way of operating. And out of that really challenging and difficult time, I began to peel back the layers of how to dig into and through a difficult scenario. And out of that, I found some strategies that have worked for me that I've put in the book. And I'd like to share a couple of them with you. Here are a couple of questions I'd like you to think about the next time you're in a difficult situation, whether it's with a person or just a situation you're dealing with at work or at home. So here are a couple things to ask yourself. By the way, this is what people typically ask themselves. Number one, why is this happening to me? Everybody always wants, why is this happening to me? The problem with this is that it increases victimhood. Oh, well, guess what? More bad things will happen to me then. So I've noticed when people ask this question, things get worse. So that's number one. Don't ask that question. The second thing people ask is, when will this go away? They want to know now what will happen in the future when, of course, nobody can answer that question. So that creates anxiety and frustration from dealing with that. The third thing that people ask is, how come nobody else is dealing with this? It seems like I'm the only one who's dealing with this. By asking that question, you set up this area of comparison that really doesn't do you any good, and it just makes yourself feel more separated and isolated. So those are 3 questions that people often ask that don't work for them. So here are 3 questions to ask that will work better for you. The first question is, what am I learning from this? Just asking that question, what am I learning, opens up possibilities, opens up scenarios that weren't there before. So ask that question and just notice how the answer starts to come. One of the things I always say is that the questions you ask yourself determine your destiny. So if you're asking questions of possibility, you get more possibility. The second question, which is a subset of this, is how is this changing me? How is this really challenging scenario that I want to absolutely be out of, how is it changing me? So first, what am I learning? And then now, how's it changing me? So how am I shifting from it? What about me that's changing, that's adapting and learning and becoming stronger as a result of that? And the third one is, well, who else has had this happen and benefit? So instead of compare yourself to others, you're actually learning from them. So you're taking their strategies, their learnings, and you're taking them on. It also helps you connect to people who've been through something similar. So by asking these kinds of questions that put you in a more possibility framework, you actually change your predisposition for action. This is what emotions do. By asking different questions, we get different emotions. By having different emotions, we have different predispositions for action. So our reason for acting, our place from acting becomes different. So let me give you an example. When I wrote my first book, Since Strangling Isn't an Option, I had the opportunity to interview Michael Deaver. He was the chief of staff under Reagan in the Reagan years, White House. And one of the things I asked him was, what was one of the most poignant moments of his life. And I thought he'd say, oh, I was with the president and we were with Mother Teresa, and it would be something dramatic like that. And you know what? It wasn't any of those things. He told me that he had been an alcoholic for many years. And one day, while walking around the house in a drunken stupor, his daughter came up. He's in a bathrobe and his daughter walks up and she says, Dad, I hate that you live like this. It really hurts me and I want you to change. And he said he looked in her eyes, and that level of love and care shifted his motivation for wanting to drink. And that moment, he stopped drinking. He went to AA and totally changed his relationship with alcohol. And it was out of that interaction with him that I realized that one of our predispositions, one of our major predispositions for action is caring. What is it that you care about that you really want to change? So in the book, I share 7 strategies for dealing with difficulty and show you out of that caring that you have some new actions that you can take that will change the dynamics of your relationships and, most importantly, with your interaction with yourself. So sign up here below, give me your email and your name. I'll send you a free chapter of my book so you can get a taste of what some of these solutions are, and I'll continue to send you more tips and techniques about how to make your life easier and more complete. So if you'd like to email me any questions, you're welcome to email me at SC for Sandra Crowe, at pivpoint.com. That's P as in Paul, I, V as in Victor, POINT.com. I'd love to hear what your concerns are. So many people tell me that if this is their difficult scenario or even their difficult person, what they would love to have happen, what they really, really want, if they can possibly, is to have that situation go away, disappear completely. And in many cases it does. And with some of the strategies I'm going to give you, it could possibly happen. If you have a copy of my first book, Since Strangling Isn't an Option, you know what some of these strategies are already. And sometimes they come back. So if some of these scenarios are reoccurring for you, make sure you sign up below and I'll help you make these things disappear forever.